While this long post is uploading, which is going to take a bit because it was 35 minutes, I'm going to say this. I've heard people and the government workers. Now, if you're intelligent, you wouldn't be working for the government. Okay? You wouldn't be a government worker. Government workers are the scraping of the barrel. You're low class. I've heard people say, where did he grow up? Okay. I have that right there. That is the most working class povo pleb statement anyone can ever make, because that attitude relates to poor people. Because poor people stick in the same spot. They don't live between places. They have no money to do anything except for go to work, come home, go to work, come home, go to work, come home. That's it. Where people who I grew up around that were affluent would never make that statement, because for an example, like the Morbies, they're here, but then they live there. It's like, where'd you grow up? I wouldn't say to the Morbies, even my mum's neighbour, where'd you grow up? Because I know they have more than one house. So they don't grow up in one house. And this is the thing. Okay, people I've grown up around don't grow up in one house. The Morbies didn't have one house. Because the father lived in one house half the time, came to the other house the next time, then they had their holiday house. Okay? Like Esther was one time, like she was doing some stuff, like making curtains. I'm getting my coats tailored and so forth. So Esther used to do sewing, the next door neighbour. And anything that needed to be fitted, I used to go over and say, can I have this sleeve in, fit this and so forth. And she was making curtains or something, and it was for one of their holiday houses. And then I'm moving into an apartment in town, not because I could. So I wanted my own apartment as a teenager. So as a 17-year-old, I moved into my own apartment. And Esther's like, oh, because her nan used to have an apartment there, and they were just. So Esther lives near my mum. Well, not near my. Esther was my mum's neighbour next door, and they're not anymore. And she had in Macquarie Gardens in East an apartment, and they would just go and stay in it. See, people who aren't poor don't use comments to where someone grew up, because people don't live in one house. Okay? They live in between areas. And I find that attitude, because I hear this when growing up, it'd be like screeching to do with my family members, cousins that were like, well, we have to put up with them because they've had, like, we're related, but they've got a completely different lifestyle and upbringing to us. Dad's older sister, for starters, her children. Mum's sister, her children. They're both exactly the same. Same types of characteristics of people. It's the povos. And we'll be there, be like, we have to put up with them. They used to call us snobs, but we put up with them because we're related. They only live in that sort of, they do this whole povo, working class behaviour, where we're like, come on, okay, we finished this, we're off here. We're staying here. We're here. Have we got any time at home yet? When we do, I'm going to have a house party. All right, well, when summer comes, it's like, okay, well, if we're not in Sydney this weekend, do you want to have a house party? Yeah, I'm going to invite everyone from school to have a house party. See, poor people say, where did someone grow up? Because that's how they live. Housing Commission people are poor. They don't have the option to live in between houses. They have a set house. It's like communism. They have a set place and a set environment that they've lived for a long time. And they don't grow because it's povo. They're poor. They're extremely poor. It's oh my God, I've never experienced something like this. It's utterly insane. I can't stand it. And I would never be anywhere near this organisation if my mum had actually listened to her son in 2015 and done what I asked her. Because I would be living in my own place that I owned. Okay? I would never be with this organisation for the simple fact is that it's bizarre. These people are absolutely insane. They're nuts. They're so poor. They've grown up poor. Their parents are poor. Their grandparents are poor. I have nothing in common with them. I can't speak to them. I can't deal with it. It's insane because they can't comprehend my lifestyle. And I was like, that's because you are povo poor. Like, my mother walks around and goes, oh, we're just working class. And even my grandmother would be like, oh, God, your mum has no idea what working class is, Justin. I'm like, yeah, I know. She's in a land where she makes herself poorer than what she is. Like, she's like, well, we're working class. And my grandmother was literally sitting there going, friggin' hell. Working class people don't own thoroughbred hacks, have a saltwater swimming pool. My mother has no clue. Like, my grandmother literally were there going, like, she'd be like, she in the back, she goes, friggin', your mother doesn't have a clue what having no money is, because she never had no money growing up. She makes out that she was this so done by, but she did not. There was nothing that, if your mother wanted to do something, She did it. Your mother got enrolled in tennis lessons, ballroom dancing lessons, had the best horses and horse gear money could buy. My grandmother was like, okay, I gave up my job to raise a family. Nan didn't want it. Nan was a clerk. Nan was like what an accountant for a company was today. Okay, she worked in Glebe. So my grandmother Lola was an accountant or a clerk. That was her job role, was a clerk. And my grandfather Reg was a butcher. Nan said we had two incomes coming in. When she lost her income, we had to survive on Reg's, but we could do it. Nan didn't want to do that. She wanted to have a family where she could have her income coming in, but because they kept having a growing family, she had to give it up. Okay, so mum was the first that survived. So mum got everything because she was the first child. So there was two sons. There was Neil. There was Michael. They died. Then there was Carol, my mother. My mother was the oldest who survived, and she got everything. She still reckons Marion. Marion's a spoiled little fucking bitch, mum. But you got the education. You got the knowledge. Marion, by the time Marion come along, Nan was tired, did nothing with her. Just gave her things. Okay? So there is a massive difference. And the one that was the Povo, mum's other sister Robin and her family. Because that was the one that got missed out of everything. So the two ones that were very similar is Denny and Robin. Because they're the two middle childs and got nothing. Well, not they got nothing. The education and the knowledge and all the energy was put into Carol. The other two, there was no time for. And then the youngest one came along and Nan was too tired and just gave everything. So the one that's most spoiled is the youngest. The ones that are just deadbeats are the two middle. And the older one has the knowledge and the wisdom and done nothing with it. And not pause. What did Nan used to say? Almost like pause. Like, your mother was dainty and delicate, refined. We put her into needlework. Needlework, was it sewing and cooking and shorthand and typing and and so forth. This is all true. And so these are all siblings that are raised completely differently. Okay? So what arseholes are projecting, it's because you're a communist. Okay, in my own family, we are not equal. There's a hierarchy. Amanda and myself, my twin sister Amanda Lee Fleming and myself, well, I'm my grandmother Lola's favourite, Amanda's my grandfather Reg's favourite, and we are the king shit. There's a hierarchy. I don't stand for socialism, I don't stand for communism. There's a hierarchy. There's different levels of social status within my own family, and I can tell you now, when your grandmother's there going, oh, go get the stretchers out of the room, I've got my lovely daughter coming down tomorrow. It's like, oh God, why do I have to be here, Nan? I don't want to be here. Just don't worry, you and Amanda get the bedrooms, I'm putting them in the shed. There's the hierarchy. I don't believe in socialism, I don't believe in communism, and I do not believe in equality. Because in my own family, we never had equality. There was a hierarchy. There was a class order, okay, between the ones that got the nice, soft bedrooms and got treated this way and the ones that were put into a shed on stretchers. Okay? So I do not stand for your belief, nor will I accept it. You can peddle it all you want, but in no country does socialism or communism work. And equality does not work. I don't support it. I would never support it. Okay? And I don't support socialism. I don't support communism. Mine is mine. And that's it. Because we don't all start out the same. This whole rubbish, where did you grow up? That is the most poorest comment I've ever heard anybody say. The most poorest comment. Because that means you've just spent your life in one spot. You haven't lived between areas like I have. You haven't holidayed in an area. You haven't, I live here while I'm going to school, but I'm off here when I'm not at school and I'm over here on holidays for summer. No. Where'd you grow up? Where'd you grow up? That comment. You're the most poorest person I've ever met, because that's what poor people do. I've never heard those comments ever come from any affluent person, because they don't just live in one house. That's the thing. And neither did I. Dad's house, mum's house, here, holiday house, so forth. Started life here. My mum wanted to move to a better environment, better life, better lifestyle. I've only ever heard this "where did you grow up" comment come from the most poorest of Povo society. Okay? And that comment is like putting up with my mum's sister and their friends.